let L is equal to limit x tends to 9. Limit x tends to 9, x to the power of 3 by 2 minus 27 divided by x minus 9. Okay, this is the limit. Now see, compare it with this. Limit x tends to a, x to the power of n minus a to the power of n by x minus a is equal to n a to the power of n minus 1. So here if you compare it with this, what you see is that a here is 9 because limit x tends to 9. So a here is 9. Okay, and n here is 3 by 2 because x has been raised to the power of 3 by 2. Now you have a 27, that is a has been raised to the power of n. So can 27 be written as 9 to the power of 3 by 2? Just check. Can 27 be written as 9 to the power of 3 by 2? 9 to the power of 3 by 2 is 3 square to the power of 3 by 2, which is 3 to the power of 2 into 3 by 2, which is 3 cube, which is 27. So yes, 27 can be written as e to the power of n as 9 to the power of 3 by 2 divided by x minus 9. Okay, so therefore here now I can directly write this as n, which is 3 by 2, a, which is 9 to the power of n minus 1. Okay, so this now becomes 3 by 2 into 9 to the power of half, which is 3 by 2 square root of 9, which is 3 by 2 into 3, which is 9 by 2. That is your answer for the second one. Let us now see the third one. Let L is equal to limit x tends to a, x plus 2 to the power of 3 by 2 minus a plus 2 to the power of 3 by 2 divided by x minus a. Okay. Now see here, uh, you have x tends to a, but here in the numerator you don't have x to the power of 3 by 2. Instead you have x plus 2 to the power of 3 by 2. Okay, so what you must also notice here is that if I put limit x tends to a, x plus 2 to the power of 3 by 2, the numerator I write as it is, and in the denominator, since I have, see this is, if I want to write it in this form, x to the power of n minus e to the power of n by x minus a. See, I have all, this is x plus 2 is my x to the power of n, a plus 2 is my a. Now see, in the denominator I must also have an x, so here x is my x plus 2 minus a is my a plus 2. Now see, if I subtract a plus 2 from x plus 2, will I get x minus a? Yes, I will get x minus a. So that means now if I put y is equal to x plus 2, then what will happen? And if I put say b is equal to a plus 2. So as x tends to a, y tends to a plus 2, right? Isn't it? Or maybe directly we can do instead of putting y. See this
Yes,
now
sir.
is x to the power of n minus e to the power of n divided by x minus a. Okay. So therefore, you can now put this as n. N here is 3 by 2. A to the power of n minus 1. So this is 3 by 2 x plus 2 to the power of half. So this is 3 root x plus 2 by 2. That's it. Okay. And the last problem of this set is given that limit x tends to a.
Sir,
Hmm.
we will
Then
have exam on mid of March or beginning of March.
that is, the dates have not been declared, but I think it should be middle March
Yes,
because
sir. And will there be any gap between the days? Like today is
because
Hindi, then after one day.
I don't know. I don't think there'll be gap. It does no. I don't think so because class 10s are not getting any gap. And besides, there is very little time also because if the exams are to start in March and if the new session is to start in April, then the results needs to be out before the end of March. So at least
Yes,
1 week's holiday before the new session begins. Therefore, I think it should be going logically. It should be sometime in the middle of March. Okay, so now here this is the given limit, and you need to find out the value of a. Now clearly, limit x tends to x to the power of 9 minus 8 to the power of 9 by x minus a is a standard limit. Therefore, you can write this as n a to the power of n minus 1. So n is 9. A is a to the power of 9 minus 1 must be equal to 9. That means 9a to the power of 8 is equal to 9. That means e to the power of 8 must be equal to 1. Now, Tanisha, you will tell me what should be the values of a. Real values of a. Can you tell me? Can you hear me? Are you thinking?
yes, sir.
Okay. So tell me.
9 because if we will take positive or negative number, both will be squared and then it will become positive
You can
only.
write this as a to the power of 8 minus 1 is equal to 0,
Yes, sir.
which can be written as e to the power of 4 square minus 1 square equal to 0, which can be written as e to the power of 4 plus 1 into e
A
to the
to the
power of
power
4
of
minus
4
1
minus
equal to 0. Again, you cannot do anything with e to the power of 4 plus 1, but you can split e to the power of 4 minus 1 as e square plus 1 into a square minus 1.
yes, sir.
Now e to the power of
Then
4 plus 1 will write
A
as it
will
is.
be down also.
Yes, e square plus 1 you write as it is, and a square plus 1 can be written as a plus 1 into a minus 1, right? So you factorize this. That means what will happen? Either e to the power of 4 plus 1 is equal to 0, or a square plus 1 is equal to 0, or a plus 1 is equal to 0, or a minus 1 is equal to 0, right? So that means
Yes.
either e to the power of 4 minus 1, e to the power of 4 is equal to minus 1, or a square is equal to minus 1, or a is equal to minus 1, or a is equal to plus 1. But a cannot be, but e to the power of 4 minus 1 will give you what? Imaginary roots, right? But e to the power of 4 minus 1 and a square is equal to minus 1 will give imaginary values of a, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Therefore, a to the power of minus 1, a to the power of 4 is equal to minus 1, and a square is equal to minus 1 are rejected. Hence, what do you have? A must be equal to 1
It,
or
it is
minus 1. Okay, so only two values of a. In fact, this what kind of an equation is this? This one, e to the power of 8 minus 1.
no.
It is an equation of degree 8. It will have 8 roots. Actually, these two equations These two equations will give you 6 roots. This will give you 4 roots.
Yes,
This
sir.
will give you 2 roots.
Hmm.
Okay. This will give you one
Okay.
root, and this will give you one root. So in total, how many roots are you getting? Eight
Yes.
roots you are getting. These 4 roots will be imaginary. These 2 roots will be imaginary. Only these two will be real. So therefore, uh, the degree of the equation must be equal to the number of solutions of the equation, the number of roots of the equation. Now we come to the next set of problems which deals with infinite values of the limit. Okay, that is when the variable x is tending towards infinity. Okay, so uh, when x tends towards infinity, the technique is we put y is equal to 1 by x. Okay, so therefore, as x tends to infinity, y tends to 0. Okay, so we'll get a standard limit. Now, how to do this? Uh, let's take the following set of problems. Evaluate the following limits.
So I have one question, sir.
Yes.
Whatever question, like if I practice for exams,
Hmm.
school exams, and I will practice from that OP Malhotra's book, no?
You can practice from any book you want, but what I can tell you is that you practice the sum that I am doing in the class here for your school
Hmm.
exams. Okay, because all the sum that I'm doing are all your examination standard sums. So if you practice only these sums, that will be sufficient for you.
Okay, sir.
And whatever extra you do, that is up to you. But at least these you must do.
No, sir, because our tuition teacher was teaching us from SND, that is from West Bengal board's book.
Hmm.
Questions are almost same, but
Yeah, the see the manner in which the lessons have been organized in other books, they might be better, but the questions will be the same. The standard of questions will be the same. So what have even if
yes,
the in your HS book, even if there is a difference in syllabus between ISC and HS, your teacher is there to sort them out. No, whatever is not required, he will not teach you from SND or whatever book he is following.
yes, sir.
So that is the advantage there. But because sometimes it is gets convenient for the teachers also to teach from certain books. Okay, because the chapters are so organized that it is convenient for them to teach. So that is
Hmm.
why sometimes you can follow such books. In fact, I don't find OP Malhotra to be a very impressive book also, but because I think this is the best available book for your ISC, I think for ISC this is the best available book and keeping, and when I'm not saying best available book, I'm not saying for all the students. I'm saying because the students are all mixed, no? There are good
Hmm.
students,
Yes.
there are mediocre students, there are bad students. So keeping them in mind, I think Malhotra is the best book. Otherwise, there are lots of good books in the market if you actually want to learn mathematics. Uh,
So, ISC is much difficult than ICSC.
hmm? Which one?
Class 12 is much more difficult
In
than
fact,
class
class
10.
12 is easier than class 11. Once you reach class 12, you will notice because the present class 12s are telling me that we are finding class 12 easier than class 11. Okay, so I think you should not have a problem with these because class 11 is difficult uh, because they want to make a certain foundation in class 11. That is why class 11 looks a little tough. And I also find class 12 to be easier to teach also. So I think class 12 you won't have as much problems. Where you have a set pattern for examination also. You have question papers there to help you out to see. So at the end, just 3 months before the exams, if you just go through the question paper, that will be sufficient. But for a class 11, the syllabus first of all is very huge. The time is very less, and you don't have a set pattern also in class
Yes,
11.
sir.
So that is why sometimes
And
class 11
for
becomes a little.
10, in class 10,
So coming back here, you have this limit where x tends to infinity. Okay, now see, as I told you that whenever x tends to infinity, you'll find it convenient to put y is equal to 1 by x. Change the
1
variable
by
to
x.
y, and then you can evaluate the limit. So what I do is, since I see that x tends to infinity, I say let y is equal to 1 by x. So I say therefore as x tends to infinity, y tends to 0. So if I change everything in terms of y, therefore what does this limit become? Limit y tends to 0 3 times 1 by y cube plus 1 by y square minus 1 divided by 1 by y square minus y uh, minus 1 by y, sorry, minus 1 by y plus 7. Okay, so now this becomes 3 by y cube plus 1 by y square minus 1 divided by 1 by y square minus 1 by y plus 7. So now you take the LCM, and this is limit y tends to 0. Now you take the LCM in the numerator and denominator. In the numerator, LCM is y cube, so you get 3 plus y minus y cube divided by, and in the denominator, this is y square, so you get 1 minus y plus 7 y square. Okay, so now what happened? This y square will cancel with y cube, and the power of y over here will be only 1. So you can write this as limit y tends to 0, 3 plus y minus y cube divided by y into 1 minus y plus 7 y square. Okay, so now if you see, I cannot get rid of y in the denominator, right? I have y in the denominator here, and I have 3 plus y minus y cube in the numerator. If I put y is equal to 0 here, I'm getting a 3 by 0 form, right? Which cannot be eliminated, right? So either we say that this limit is equal to infinity because we are getting a 3 by 0 form. Either we say this limit is equal to infinity, okay, or we say L is equal to limit x tends to infinity, the given limit 3x square plus 3x cube plus x square minus 1 divided by x square minus x plus 7 does not exist finitely. Understood? Does not
Sir.
exist finitely. Either we say this is equal to infinity directly, or we say that it does not exist finitely. Now, what is the difference between does not exist finitely? Has your tutor done this sum in your tuition classes? This kind of a sum at least has he done? Yes, tell me.
Yes, sir.
He has done.
Yes, sir.
And what is the explanation that he gave for this? I just curious. I just want to know.
That we will change the limit of x from infinity to, like, if x is equal to infinity, then 1 by x is equal to u. Let 1 by x is equal to u and u tends to 0.
U tends to 0. No, 0 is still okay, but we are getting infinity here. So, uh, I mean, has he got infinity as any limit? 0 is still
As
okay. 0, you can have the
mentioned,
value of a limit as 0. So that is okay. But what about this? Have you got any, have you done any sum, or has you solved any sum where the limit was infinity?
it
In
was
fact, there is
infinity, but then we took it as,
no, here you cannot take. No, here if you cannot take, you have already taken x is equal to 1 by y here, or y is equal to 1 by x. You have already taken. So now you cannot take anything here. Whatever you take, you will still get infinity. See, there is a
Yes,
mathematical
sir. This
explanation for this. There is a mathematical explanation for this, but limit can exist infinitely also. Okay, limit can exist infinitely, but if two limits exist infinitely, then how you judge whether they are equal? A particular limit can exist infinitely. One limit can exist infinitely, but what about the right hand and left hand limit? If I say left hand limit is equal to infinity, and if I say right hand limit is equal to infinity, then how will you say that they are equal? Can you compare two infinities? You cannot compare two infinities. So that is why a particular limit can exist infinitely. Okay. Uh, uh, but when you're talking about the left hand and the right hand limit, how will you compare them? That becomes a problem. So a limit can exist infinitely. Then, but normally we do for ours mathematically it is possible. Okay, if you are going deep into mathematics, it is possible. But for your level, we don't normally consider infinity. Now look at this sum. So again, you have x tends to infinity. So again, you put y is equal to 1 by x. So as x tends to infinity, y tends to 0. So therefore, what is the value of L? L you have 3 times, because if x is equal to 1 by y, y is equal to 1 by x, then x must be equal to 1 by y. So you put x is equal to 1 by y. Minus 1 minus 2 by y square minus 1 divided by 4x, 4 into 4 by y plus 3. Okay, so this is limit y tends to 0. So this is now limit y tends to 0. If you take the LCM, you'll get 3 minus y square divided by y square minus 2 minus y square divided by y square whole divided by 4 divided by y plus 3. Okay, so this is limit y tends to 0. So you simply get 3 root over of 3 minus y square divided by y minus root over of 2 minus y square divided by y. And in the denominator also you take the LCM. So you get 3 plus 4 plus 3y divided by y. You get limit y tends to 0, um, root 3 minus y square minus root 2 minus y square whole divided by y divided by 4 plus 3y divided by y. Now clearly this y and this y cancels off. Now you can put y is equal to 0 and you get it in determinate form. So you get root over of 3 minus 0 square minus root 2 minus 0 square divided by 4 plus 3 into 0. So you get root 3 minus root 2 divided by 4. That is the value of the limit. Okay, now there's another way in which you can see this problem. Okay, I want you to see this very, very, very carefully. See, limit x tends to infinity, very conveniently you are putting. Yeah, are you listening to me?
yes, sir.
Now see this very, very conveniently you can do without even without putting x is equal to 1 by y. See how you can do. What you see here is, what is the degree of x here? X square, and you have it under a radical sign. That means degree here becomes x. So throughout the degree of x here is 1. You agree with this? Because x square is under a radical, so the degree of x is 1. You agree with this?
Yes, sir.
And here also in the denominator you have degree 1. Right? So what you do is
Yes,
you
sir.
can divide the numerator and denominator by x directly. Limit x tends to infinity. You can, if you divide the numerator and denominator by x, you get 1 by x root 3x square minus 1 minus 1 by x root 2x square minus 1 divided by 4x plus 3 divided by x, isn't it? This is what you will get. Now when this will enter inside the radical sign, see 1 by x is outside, right? When this will enter the radical sign, it will become a square. So you can write this as whole root 3x square minus 1 by x square, right? And similarly here also you can write root over of, you can write 2x square minus 1 divided by x square, and in the denominator you can write 4 plus 3 by x. Now you can separate this and then put x is equal to 1 by y. Understood? This you separate and this you separate. Okay. So I'll do one sum on by this technique only. Okay. Um,
So then we will be left with root 3
huh?
minus 1 by x.
Okay. Let me
Root
just
3.
do this. Let me just do this sum by this technique. Let me just finish this off little very quickly. The value of the limit will be the same in whatever way you do. Understood? The, the value of the limit won't change according to the technique that you are using. See what I'll do here is I'll write limit x tends to infinity. Now if I separate, this is what I'll get. You'll get 3x square by x square minus 1 by x square, isn't it? If you separate, minus root over of 2x square by x square minus 1 by x square, isn't it? Divided by 4 plus 3 by x. Now see, this is limit x tends to infinity. So limit x tends to infinity, you are going to get root over of 3 minus 1 by x square, right? Minus root over of 2 minus 1 by x square divided by 4 plus 3 into 1 by x. Now you put y is equal to 1 by x. You'll get the same thing. Understood? You'll get exactly the same thing. So instead of substituting at first only, here in the beginning, hmm? Tell me, I cannot hear you. Tell me, I cannot hear you properly.
If we put
Hmm.
x is equal to infinity, then 1 by x is equal to 1 by infinity is 0.
Yes, you can.
Then
You can do that also. You can put directly put a 1 by x is equal to 0. You can directly put. So you get root 3 minus root 2 divided by 4. Okay. You can do this also, no problem. But normally we teach y is equal to 1 by x because most of the students they are not able to understand. That's why we put y is equal to 1 by x and then do it. Okay. That is what. And two more sums are left. So I'll finish in the next class.